No unity, no power. White power for white people. Black power for black people. 1967. The Black Panther Party. The movement. Freedom.
Let's talk about freedom. Freedom.
We will not bow down to racism. We will not bow down to injustice. We will not bow down to exploitation. I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand.
Now this is time for free your mind and your soul. Yo, our story has never been told. Ladies, you got to demand what you want, and what we want is respect, right?
Come and take a walk with me, closer walk with thee, see what only I can see.
Sisters, check this, watch this.
Turn us loose, set us free from all the chains that bind me. Let us run in our own direction. Let us go, set us free from all this propaganda and lies that your people try to teach us. I know why you would like to bring us down, because we have all the deals on you. You try to tell us that our lives don't mean a thing, but we know so much better, so we're gonna take up the freedom. Freedom for my mind, freedom for my spirit. All this time you've been telling us these lies, but now we finally figured out your game. Yeah, all that we would never wise up, but we'll show you how black female can do. But still you continue to keep us oppressed. But no, we ain't going out like that. Oh no, no. All these lies and all this propaganda you want us to take, we're gonna take it. Freedom from my body, freedom from my mind, freedom from my spirit. I see the fear in your eyes, surprise your covers below. I know just who I am and what I wanna do. I can make you run, make you hide from all your ancestors' transgression that you hold inside. Sister rising up and sing that our time is here. We're taking back what's been ours for years.
Let the heaven of a sister embrace you in place of other guys.
All these lies and all this propaganda that you want us to sing, we're gonna take out. Freedom from my mind, freedom for my spirit. Freedom.
I am your host, Nikki Gilbert Daniels, and I'm so geeked up to be back on She Speaks Live, baby. I'm so excited to be here. It's been 5 years since we've been in studio, and I'm so super excited to have my sisters with me tonight for this very special episode of She Speaks Live. She is the author of Date Girl, 143 Reasons Why You Should Date Multiple Men, and Ta, Don't Be a Typical Ass Woman. Give it up for my sister, Stacey J. Johnson.
Yes, Stacey.
Yes, indeedy. And she is one of the smartest women I know. All the women I know on this panel tonight are super duper smart. But she is from Detroit. She was the former chief of staff for the city of Detroit. She is one of the smartest people I know. She is one of the kindest people I know, shown up for me in ways that people I've known for my whole life have not. Oh, wow. Give it up for this author, this mom, and this woman who is on the move. Give it up for Christine Beatty.
Yes. 5 years.
And tonight, y'all, we finna kidnap her because the energy and the flow is together.
For real.
She is a nationally syndicated radio host. She sings her entire face off and yours. I am so excited to have this sister with us. She just recently married the love of her life. Thank you for joining us on She Speaks Live. We're trying to keep her. Miss Darlene McCoy Jackson.
Thank you, sister.
Hey, sister. Now, Darlene is the newbie on the set, lady.
Yes.
So
I appreciate that. I didn't know you be looking at my post like that.
I'll be looking at your post. I'm like, what Darlene talk about? Oh, okay.
Period.
Notice they got the 2 singers on the outside. We sitting with the 9 singers.
We got the bases covered.
I'll take it.
Darlene, do you mind? Like we usually start this off with a toast.
Okay.
But I feel like with everything that's going on out here in this here world and these political streets,
Lord.
we all need a little bit of a mental reprieve. So can you please give us some thoughts on how we can keep our spirituality intact in this situation?
Absolutely.
Amen.
You know, I think about it. You know, I know we're going to be talking about relationships and politics and whatnot. I think about the fact that patience works on us. And, you know, I think about the scripture that says, let patience have its perfect work. And it's building our character. And we need patience in relationships. And we definitely have had to have patience in this country. And I think it's rebuilding the character of the country because unity is, we're coming together like never before. Like you see a lot of sisters coming together like never before. And now you're seeing all of these different people. We have Republicans coming together with Democrats because we've been patient for a long time. So I just want to encourage us to just don't get antsy when we're getting patient because we're becoming better. It's working on our character.
We're becoming better. So tell the people what they can do. Pray and be patient.
That's right. Be patient. Wait, because that waiting period is making you great. So,
I love it. Well, speaking of coming together.
Hey,
she's engaged. You already know, but the people might not know. And I'm getting married. Thank you, Christine. And I'm getting married in Italy.
Yes, you are.
Which is why I picked up this lovely glass of wine.
Yes, honey.
Of course she's getting married in Italy.
Absolutely.
You're going to Stacey the wedding.
That's right.
Exactly.
Italy,
do you want to share?
Lake Como. Absolutely.
I know, because I'm a bridesmaid.
Period. Period. But because we're getting married in Italy, I thought today we always start with some type of toast of something. Well, Stella Rosa is a vineyard in Italy. So this is where we're going to be tasting today. So season 3 is official.
Cheers.
Yes.
I love it. Cheers.
Yes.
Not bad.
Oh, that's nice.
Not bad.
Actually, it's pretty good.
You thinking about serving this to your guests? Maybe. Stacey's so bougie. Anyway, Stacey's so bougie. She said, last time we were together, we were in the middle of an election, right? And that time it was Biden and Trump. But this time, baby,
The game has changed.
Wow.
talk about it, Chris. We just had a DNC.
The game has changed.
Ooh, here we go. We have set her on.
But no, we are in the midst of history. And it is wonderful. Like you just talked about, I'm going to use the Michelle Obama. Hope is making a comeback.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
When I say that, you know, watching the DNC was so inspirational on so many levels, but the Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, when I say she took it to the next level, because what she showed is, I'm a woman, yes, but I'm commander-in-chief as well.
Yes, she
Yes.
did.
I am commander-in-chief material, and I understand what's needed for this nation.
Yes.
And she just set it off. So I think there is a even higher level now, because one night the Obama spoke and just killed it.
Yes,
I mean,
do
Michelle,
something.
Baby.
Michelle
Yes.
took me
Michelle
all
said,
the way. I mean,
"Do
crying
something."
because she just lost her mom, and I lost my
Yes,
mom. We
yep.
were about a month
yeah.
apart.
Yep.
And when she went there, you could tell she was in her zone of, so what we not gonna do is play.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell
I
y'all
think
what
she
this
said
is.
that too, didn't
oh no,
she?
she did. She
Yeah,
said,
she
so
said
what
it.
we're not gonna do is act like you didn't try to create fear amongst people about us.
Yeah.
Intelligent, educated,
Yes.
and just happen to be black.
Yeah.
Yes.
People, we're not playing that game anymore.
That's
she was
exactly
very
right.
clear, and I
Yes, she
mean, she
was.
set the stage.
And what about when
on
she also said black job? She said, I think
She sure did. She changed it to a didn't she?
Listen, she said, who's gonna tell him that one of those jobs that he might be seeking is a black job?
baby.
Oh my God! I don't think I have ever seen her that petty.
Yes.
She usually
no.
when you go low, we go high.
Yes.
But she went medium.
She went medium. She
She
came
did
on
go
down
medium.
I
with
wouldn't
it.
even think it was petty. It was, you not gonna play in my face today.
Period.
Let me
It was
explain to
that.
you the seriousness of
Yeah.
the situation. We're not doing that game anymore.
That's right.
And I mean, she set the stage. And then Madam VP, Kamala, for anybody
Kamala.
that does
That's
not know
right.
how to say her name.
As in
Kamala.
The comma.
Love.
Comma.
Her little baby nieces set y'all straight and said, Kamala.
Period.
And I think that was very self-explanatory
That's it.
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
you
it.
could, if a 5-year-old can do it, I'm gonna need everybody to do
Yeah,
it.
that was super petty.
Unlike the congresswoman who Eric Dyson had some words for, who
Oh.
couldn't say.
Now what
her
happened
name.
there? For,
Oh my goodness!
She's
They're on a
Oh,
CNN panel.
Nancy somebody?
Jace, I think is her last name, but
Nancy Mace.
Mace, yes, man. I'm looking at me, because again, since she couldn't say Kamala and had the nerve to say, I'll call her whatever I want to.
She sure
That's
did.
a shame.
The level
sure
of
did say that.
disrespect,
The level
she
of
said,
privilege.
yeah,
The
white
level
woman
of she
privilege.
better be glad that somebody
She
like me
better
was
walk there. Like, yeah,
They trying to help her.
Abby Phillips had to maintain her composure, and you could tell she was like, did she just say, you could see the voice,
Yeah.
you know, you see the little box. I know
Yeah.
she was like, did this
I'll
ever,
call
did
her
not
whatever
just
I
say, I
want.
will call her what I want to. So just disrespectful.
Yeah.
And just so when you talk about needing that peace again,
Yes, Lord.
you know, because
That patience.
Oh my goodness,
Yes.
that peace and patience, because I would have needed all of the patience. The Lord Himself would have had to speak in my ear for me not to just.
I'm with you on
Oh
that.
yeah, she was terrible. So yeah, that just the divisiveness and the crazy, the disrespect is just out of control.
What I'd like to know, and I think more people need to know, and Chris, you can educate on us on this. Can you give us just a few things that Biden has done
Yes.
that are not being highlighted in the public and in the media?
Well, let me
Or
start.
the
with-
Biden administration, I'm sorry?
Yeah, let me start with this. You know, of course, the Republicans have to have a strategy, right?
Yeah.
So the strategy is, we're going to look at the thing that people see, you know, the worst of, which is the border issue, and we're going to try to attach it. Let's be clear. Kamala Harris is the vice president. The president sets policy. Let's start with that. That is his administration. She has input, absolutely.
Okay.
But this is the Biden administration, right? And so she carries out what his priorities are. She's able to weigh in, but he sets the policy, the stage. And then everybody else, he gets input from his cabinet on what are we doing in this administration. So that's A. B, she is not the border czar. And I need them to stop with that little fake lie stuff.
She even spoke
at
about that, though,
Yeah,
at
and
the
at no time
DNC
has she
during
been
her
the,
speech.
at no time was she ever said that she was the border czar. So that's the other thing. But to just say the Biden administration has done some great things. The first thing, if Joe Biden don't do nothing else, I'm sorry, as far as black woman,
Look here.
he gave us a black woman vice president.
He sure
gave
did.
us the first African-American woman Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
Like, listen, he said he was going to do it and he did it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
He said he
know
was
what-
going to do it and he did it.
You know what I love about that is, and I'm going to say it like this: when she wins and when she's inaugurated,
When she wins.
it's going to be on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Ooh, the inauguration. Is it on
And
that day?
she will take an
Ancestors.
oath
Yes.
with Ketanji
Brown Jackson.
Do you
Sitting there.
I got
That's
chills
what I'm saying,
again.
It's the
Woo.
greatness. That's what,
Whoa, I did
the
not
greatness.
know
So
that.
I don't want to act like that is the only thing he's done, but when you, for me, as a black woman, when you look at that,
Yes.
the historic opportunity that was provided and given and now is being taken full advantage of
Yes.
in the form of the first African woman nominee for the Democratic Party for president.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
And I have to also say
That,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Biden is America. And I
I
say
agree.
that
Yeah.
because he put his ego aside
Yes.
and said, "What does America need?"
That's right.
And it takes a lot for
That's
a
right.
man
Yes, it
to
does.
put their ego
That's the
to
truth.
the side.
That is
and
Baby.
say,
Especially at
Yeah.
the pinnacle of power.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just the basic.
Now I
we
ain't gonna hold
talking
y'all
about
up. I
the
was worried
president.
for a minute though. I was worried.
I was too.
You worried.
I was
think all of us
worried. That's
were.
what I was
Are
just
you
getting ready to
kidding?
go
I
to.
was worried.
I
No
actually-
shade. I was
When
concerned.
I can tell you when I saw the debate between him and Trump, my mind said, because I have been not on the level of your politics, child, but I'm just saying you was running whole cities. But I can say that something told my spirit they knew this was going to happen. I knew they had something in place or something that was thought of, because you know what this man, just as Americans, when we looked at that debate, somebody saw that man before he got there. Hold on, let me finish.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody saw him before he got there, days before. They knew his health was not right. They knew what we were going to say. And for what I do know about, and you can probably say this,
go ahead.
before you get on stage, it's already planning going on, but they knew that it had to be introduced in a right way for America. You see what? Because now we can embrace it. Now I don't know if that's true, but
I mean, again, that's a great observation. A couple of things. Nope, it wasn't planned, and he did not want to necessarily give that up. Right?
You don't think so?
Oh, no, he didn't.
No,
I mean, they
started
talked
with-
about
yeah.
it, and his staff has
talking
talked
about
about
it.
it. That it was tough to do, not just because of an ego, because he thought he had more work to do.
Yeah.
Right? But once he saw the calls coming from the Democratic Party, and this is where I was worried, Nikki, not about Kamala. I knew she's a bison. Thank you, Shah.
No, I wasn't worried about her. I was worried about him.
No, I know you
About
were.
him. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, he decided after that and said, you know what? All of these calls to step down. What I don't want to do is create division within
In
the
the party.
party.
In the party.
And then
Right,
let me tell you where I was worried was that were the Democrats going to do the right thing? Because I said if they step over this black woman vice president and try to make anybody else the nominee.
Oh, I saw your post, Chris. I saw your post, baby. I saw it.
So that's what I was really worried about. But he did the right thing for country, and that's what what being the president is about.
Yes.
Doing the right
Yes.
thing for country.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
about you.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
let me tell you,
indeed.
I mean,
That's what
it's
we need.
legendary.
That's what we all
That
need
was
to
a
do.
legendary
Yes.
move.
Yes.
And if you are going to go
Unprecedented.
out,
Unprecedented.
that's the way you want to go
Yeah,
out, is with that
absolutely.
level of respect for him to have, just enough courage to just say, I'm going to step aside.
Yeah.
And do the right thing.
And do
for
the
us.
right
And do the right thing for the country.
Yeah.
How do we? What should be our steps at this point? I mean, obviously, we want people to vote,
Yes,
get out and
God.
vote,
And register.
and register to vote.
Because we can have
how do
Lil
we
Jon
really
and
support
DNC
Kamala to make
all
sure
we
this
want,
happens?
but we got to vote.
Well, and registration
Yeah.
cuts off at a particular time, but yes, vote. What you want to do is make sure your registration is in order right now, because a lot of people change polling places. You want to make sure you know where to go, so that on election day, especially in Georgia, it is a swing state.
It is
Michigan, swing state. Pennsylvania. Make sure everybody knows where your polling place is.
Yeah.
Don't let them play that game on
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
They'll do
So
it.
that's the first thing. And then secondly is be a voice. If you can, go walk doors. Like on Sunday when I get home, I'm going to knock doors. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's that.
So is knocking doors, like, is
still
that
a thing?
effective? Is
Oh,
that still a
yes,
thing? I
because
guess
you're talking to people. It's
Okay.
always effective. It's
Okay.
and that's why you have to train. Politics is a grassroots.
Is that canvassing? That's called canvassing.
Yeah, and it's a
Okay.
grassroots sport. It's not canvassing. This one's a little more talk. You can talk and knock, talk and walk, but yes, you're
Okay.
canvassing the neighborhood.
Okay.
But the thing is, yes, grassroots. Talk to your neighbor. That's what this whole campaign. When we looked at the DNC and we saw it was about care for your neighbor. Look
Yes.
out for your neighbor.
Love your
Educate your
neighbor.
neighbor.
Yes.
Have a conversation with your neighbor that's not an argument, so where you can try to get them to understand, listen, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're looking at. Here's why this person is better. Here's why this person is dangerous.
On social media, I posted hashtag 7 for 47. And what I mean by that is get 7 of your friends
I
because
saw
it's
that.
about
Yes.
getting to the
Oh,
polls.
right,
Get-
right,
and she would be the 47th president, right?
Yes.
So I said get 7 of your friends.
that.
I love that.
Get them
That's
to the
really good.
polls. Not
Yes.
and these are friends outside of your husband, your kids, your grown, your 18 years,
Yeah.
you're the ones that can vote. But I said 7 for 47, and everybody started
love that.
hashtagging that.
7 for
Hashtagging
47. I gotta
7
make
for
sure I do
47.
that.
Get 7 people to the poll.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So you
Outside
said
of your
something.
family.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, and I was just gonna say, and then every little donation you can give helps.
Yeah.
So all
Yes.
the little false and fake ads
Yeah.
that you see,
Yes.
people respond to ads, especially in smaller communities. When you see, that's kind of all you get because the candidates don't come to the smaller communities. So an ad is a communication of what the
Yes.
platform is really
That's
about.
good.
So 5, 10, however, give whatever you can give.
Money is important.
Every
because
little dollar
getting a
counts.
lot of-
That's right.
She's getting a lot of money.
Oh,
That's-
she's
We have
getting
a-
that.
we
She's
have
getting
money
that.
coming in.
We have a Bisons for Kamala challenge, so all of the D9 from Bison are figuring out who can raise the most. So you know
Oh,
we're
wow.
trying
Oh,
to
that's
outdo
dope.
the.
And we
I
have
love it.
hashtag
Yeah,
Spell House for Kamala. We
Yes.
actually do have a private
We're gonna have to
Facebook
do
group.
voices
We
for
gotta do
democracy or something. Darlene, we got to come up with
Yes.
something, Darlene. We got to come up
That's what
with
we
something.
need.
We got
Singers for Kamala.
Singers for
Yes.
Kamala.
Yes.
Vocalists.
Voices
for
Yes.
Kamala.
We
For
just came
Kamala.
up with
That's
something.
it. That's
like-
it. Voices
I like
for
that.
Kamala.
Voices
That's it.
for Kamala.
We got to do it.
Ooh,
I mean,
love it.
they got the dogs and cats doing it. The dogs and cats are on a Zoom now.
Do
they?
For cat.
Yes,
But you
Catwoman
know,
for Kamala.
Trump
Because
said,
they called her
I mean,
a
not
cat
J-
woman.
Was it Vance?
JD Vance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they
Listen.
have a private
Nutmeg self.
Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's Cat Women for Kamala.
But anyway, I mean, I love it. I love it in the best possible way.
But it speaks to a demographic that wants to be
Yeah,
heard.
what
That's
he's
what all of
talking
these
about.
do.
Yeah.
That's what
It does.
voices
It's
would
bringing
do.
unity in a way that we have never
Let's
seen.
do it.
I love it.
Kamala.
We
Yes.
do it right here at the
White
studio. We do a
men for
holiday. We
Kamala,
do it
black
right
men
back
for
here.
Kamala.
Let's
We
do
do it
it.
right here.
Really.
Voices for Democracy Telethon.
That's
Lou
exactly
Ross, look
right.
out.
That's right.
So,
Look out.
Darlene, we like to make sure that every voice is represented on She Speaks Live, even if we don't agree.
Yeah.
We feel like it's a platform for
Yeah.
people to have conversations.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, have we had some conversations, political conversations in the past. Take a look at this clip of Christine Beatty and Angela Statton. Get right to it.
Here we go.
Christine, you had an opportunity to attend the presidential debate
I did.
At the Tyler Perry Democratic debate at the Tyler Perry Studios.
It was
She went
an
down to the
experience. It was
studio.
very interesting because I was on the other side of the table. I was press. I was press, y'all. So I got to be on the other side of the table. And actually, the Democratic debate was interesting in terms of just being behind the scenes to kind of watch how the press corps works. So it was cool to see. A lot of good conversation. The one thing that came to the center of the stage, which is relevant to our show, which is African American women being the backbone of the Democratic Party.
So true.
And well, we're the backbone of a lot of things, but certainly the Democratic Party. We've been loyal. We kind of turn the tide when it comes to different elections with Democratic women, and that's been proven time and time again. Not Democratic women, I'm sorry, African American
women.
Democratic women. We turn the tide in certain races. So we are a great power base, and so it was good to see that being acknowledged on a national Democratic stage, because a lot of times people feel like candidates only want us when it's time for our votes, you know, and that's on both sides of the table. And Angela can say the same. That's for Republicans and Democrats. When it's time for elections, people come, talk real nice, but what is it that people are actually creating in terms of policies and recognizing our worth? So I do want to show a clip. I know we have a clip. I got a chance to ask a question of Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms about the importance of African American women, you know, in the Democratic Party, and us kind of being center stage that night. So here's that clip.
It speaks volumes that we're here on the grounds of Tyler Perry Studios, that we are in the city of Atlanta. And I think that black women across the state have shown that we can influence elections. And I was glad to hear that articulated on the stage tonight. About two more questions.
Come on, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Yeah,
Got a mayor named Keisha.
right. Well, and it was great for me because I got to ask the question.
Yes. Good job, Christine.
Right.
Good representation.
So it was, you know, that part was a good for me to see, you know, and from the debate though, actually, you know, now, actually the African American woman in the Democratic field has dropped out. Kamala Harris has dropped out of the race, which unfortunately for a lot of people who supported her candidacy, hey, I know Angela's happy.
Are you clapping?
Hate to
Are you
see her go?
Is that applause, Angela?
Yay! And Angela, you go ahead and speak, but I have an
Angela.
opinion
I got to
about
know
it.
why she's clapping.
Honestly, can I be honest?
Yeah, please.
For one, let me say that I applaud all black women that I see in positions of power. I know that I'm on the Republican side, but I applaud all of our sisters for fighting and standing for what they believe. Me personally, I don't necessarily agree with some of the things that Kamala Harris agrees with. I mean, I saw where she was advocating, and you guys know that I'm a huge pro-life advocate. I saw where she was advocating for poor women of color to have access to abortion. And I think for me, it just kind of irks my soul because we never hear them say, we want to make sure that white women have access to abortion, or we want to make sure that poor, let's just be honest here for a second. We never hear that.
They do say
and
poor.
I've been, they say poor women of color. And I've been that poor woman of color. I've been that poor woman of color. I've been a convicted felon. I had to raise 5 children on my own. And I mean, they're all blessings. And I just think that us as black leaders, we know that there is strength in numbers, and instead of advocating for us to sacrifice our children at the abortion mills, I think that we should focus more on ways to prevent pregnancy. I understand the history of Roe versus Wade. Well, because I understand the history of abortion. I know the history of the founder, Margaret Sanger. I know that she was into eugenics, and I know that the
She
reason
wasn't the founder
why
of abortion. She was the
founder
founder
of
of
Planned Parenthood. Absolutely.
Let's be clear.
Well, no, we can fact check. She was the founder of Planned Parenthood, and she was a racist, and she was into eugenics.
No, I'm just saying she didn't
They felt
found
as though
abortion.
she didn't, but she founded one of the biggest abortion providers, which is Planned Parenthood. And as of today, 46% of the black population has been aborted, and I don't think that we're taking this issue seriously, and I don't think that we're really looking at the numbers. And I think that as leaders, we know that preserving black life is important, and every child that we abort is a vote that's lost. And I think that we should do more.
Christine,
this is just my opinion, and I don't want anybody to get emotional, because everybody doesn't have to feel the way that I feel, because black women will get upset with you if you tell them they can't abort their children. I get that.
Well,
but for me personally, it's important for us to build our numbers back up.
Let me be clear. As a black woman, I'm not offended that you say you don't abort our children. Be clear, I am pro-choice, and I believe any woman has the right to decide whether or not she chooses to carry a pregnancy forward, period. No matter race, whatever you are, you should decide. The reason why abortion for poor women, and specifically African-American women, has been an issue is because we were denied that for many years.
When were black women ever denied? No, I want you to speak factual. When were black women ever denied abortion?
Can I finish my sentence?
Because that's the only thing we've
Black
ever been
women
offered for free.
No, we weren't. So we were denied. Abortion was illegal for many women, and definitely for poor women.
Before 1974, Title X funding was specifically for poor women to have abortion.
I mean, let her make a point. Let her make a point.
So that's what I'm saying again. Poor women are more impacted by illegal abortions, which is why when it became illegal, that was a big thing. We were impacted in terms of dying from illegal abortions more than anybody, poor women. So to have the access to abortion is important. Whether you choose to abort your child or not is a personal choice that you should be able to have. And the issue of pro-choice is, or pro-life is going to always be that issue that is very hot button in this country. But to move back to the debate stage, which that was not one of the topics discussed, but again, Kamala dropping out actually changes the field. And so now there were many women, who were behind her. I was not necessarily behind Kamala. I don't even have a pick at this point. She has a powerful voice though, and I love the fact that she was a Howard alum. She was an African-American woman speaking truth to power. I think she had a bit of a problem speaking to her stance on criminal justice and how different issues that she addressed when she was AG of California. So I think, some people weren't, felt like she wasn't as forthcoming.
She was voted against the First Step Act.
That was a tough thing. Well, a lot of people voted against it until they changed some things around it, but she ultimately voted for it. But the thing but the thing I wanted to say about the actual debate, it was great to see that being in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And being at Tyler Perry Studios.
It's a big deal.
To be on that whole, that sound stage. Here we are on this, history of Confederacy right here on this field, and now we're having an actual debate.
Democratic debate
for president
is a big deal.
At an establishment that's now owned by an African-American man.
That's a big deal.
So that speaks to how far we've come, and when you put your mind to something, what you can do.
As it relates relates to this whole political discussion, I just be quiet and listen to these pros go at it because
just
we got the Republicans and the Democrats. So
Here's
She
the thing.
Speaks Live tonight.
At the end of the day, it's two wings on the same bird, like we said
Absolutely.
before, and we have to level each other out. So we're not going to always agree, but the fact that we can agree to disagree and we can eventually come to terms to figure out what works best for us all.
Woo, we would love your opinion. And also, we want to know, this conversation about abortion is a big one. I'm sure some of you do not support abortion. I'm sure some of you do. We want to know whether you are pro-choice or not and why. We're curious. So hit us up at She Speaks Live on Instagram.
Baby, I told you. Did you see it? But what happens, and surprisingly, Angela was going to actually come and hang out with us today, but she's on the political campaign for another candidate who, Chris, you just told me, dropped out of
and
the
endorsed Trump. But again,
what happens if Trump wins? Anybody? What happens if Trump wins? Let's just see.
I want to talk about that
Please.
because I don't know if enough of us understand what Project 2025 is all about.
Okay.
That part.
And why Trump is trying to disassociate himself from Project 2025. First of all, if you haven't read it, you've got to do your due diligence and read
blown
it
away.
because it's so much in it.
well, first
and
of
the
all,
fact
it's a
that
million pages long.
that part. But then the
let you
fact
know.
that he's distancing himself, I think that was all the plan.
Yeah.
And that's because, it's the Heritage Foundation. He can easily blame the Heritage Foundation. But why would you have a playbook with our government, with Donald Trump, his name is all throughout, the project for 2025, if it is not a plan for our government?
No question. And, I'm sorry, go ahead, Stacey, go ahead.
I was about to say it's kind of what Kamala said in her speech.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a fool. Now, she didn't say fool. That's my very and a fool does not know what he's doing. He's so in his own ego,
In his own
to where
world.
he doesn't even know. Did I just give them that? Who wants to? Yeah.
No. I'm saying, but no. On that point, in terms of just he's dangerous, and that's what she was saying. What she said was he is not a serious man.
That's
but
what it
aside from that, is he's dangerous. So what happens to our country is all of the things that she outlined. Could you imagine he's going to be going after journalists, other political foes, women's reproductive rights, which he supposedly came out and said, oh, now women's reproductive rights are going to be safe under us. Save that because the Supreme Court already did what you asked it to do.
That you're so proud of.
Yeah, that you continue to do. So don't play the game in the switch right now. So it's going to be dangerous for our country in terms of anything that is progressive for people who want to move forward. As Kamala said, we are not going back. That's what he wants us to do. That's what Project 2025 does. Takes us back light years.
Exactly. And let me tell you, just as a nationally syndicated radio host, I was very concerned when I read the fact that they want to gut the FCC and make everyone at the FCC report to the president. And if they're not loyalists, then you don't have radio. You don't have radio. You don't have television. He will be able to cut it off. And I'm just like,
dictator.
What do you mean?
Trump is his only client.
I did notice where he said there was a clip of him saying, like, you see the way the people bow down to him and do what he says. I want them to do that. I want my people to do that too.
He loves dictators.
He idolizes people like
you gotta see the clip.
But they already
and
do
Kim
that.
Jong-un. And so the thing is,
Because he wants to
that's
be
not
them.
what this is. This is
a democracy.
Then go there. Go there and run for office. That's not what this is. This is America, and we've built America. The black folks, white folks, immigrants of all kinds. Nobody is from here except the Native Americans. So everybody is an immigrant.
Right.
So what you don't get to do is try to change this into something that you idolize in a whole nother country. Go there with the dictatorship and be a part.
Period.
That's not what we're doing here.
Because they're going to flip
That is
on
not
you
what we're
real
doing
quick.
here. Right.
Oh, you're here?
Right.
Have a seat, Mr. Trump. Have a drink.
Because if he goes over
prepared
there, he
especially
can't
for
do
you.
have a drink. Yeah, have a drink.
Period.
Yeah.
That's
goodness.
crazy. And what's really crazy to me is that the number of people who are supporting him, 2 is too many as far as I'm concerned. But do you think, and I'm asking my smart friends, do you think, we're all geeked up. We saw the DNC. We saw a whole lot of people. We are team
Kamala.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely.
Kamala.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that people can get too caught up in the hype and believing,
That's
it's
why
done?
getting
It's
them
done.
to
She's
the
got
polls
it.
Scary
is so
part.
important.
That's what I get nervous about.
Yeah, that's why
Is they
getting them
see-
to the polls is so important.
We have
If
to keep
we
pushing
can
everybody.
little
It's not
John
enough
it,
to just post
we can
and all that.
Oprah
No, you gotta
we
walk.
can
You gotta
have
walk
great
to the- gotta get
speeches,
to the
but if
polls.
you do not have people at those polls, I'm talking about those people who wake up that morning and they just got off at
Right.
3 o'clock in the morning because they
Right.
working the late shift.
Right.
That's why that 7 for 47 is so important.
Yes. Okay.
Because it's who you can get to the polls.
That's
if you
it.
can't get them people to the polls, we just had a great historic DNC.
Yeah.
Period.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
turned
all
up. And that
about
was
getting
all.
people to the
Absolutely.
polls.
Like he said,
And
the party.
it is what, again, I hate to keep going back to fabulous Michelle Obama. Do something.
Do something.
Do
Yeah.
something is to vote.
Yeah.
That is it. We cannot get laxed. And every person, Hillary said it, Barack said it, Michelle said it. Don't get comfortable. We're basking in the joy of the hype.
Yes.
No,
Right.
it's time to go to work because
Yeah.
Yes.
they're not taking their foot off the gas and we can't either. This is
Yeah.
one of those kill a fly with a sledgehammer.
Ooh.
That right
Period.
there.
I love, like Barack
We
Obama
working
said,
on
don't
it.
boo, vote, don't party,
vote.
vote.
Yeah, don't
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
Yeah, don't post, vote.
Right.
You can do all those things. Don't jest.
Right.
Vote.
Yeah.
But then I want you to talk about the fact that this particular election, we have so many seats that we can flip.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So
And
how
We
does
got
that
to
go?
vote all the way down.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
And when you
I
hear
didn't know
people
that.
say that, vote the ticket. Oh, yeah. Because right now, the Senate is up. We have a very small majority, which is what Kamala, part of her vice presidency, she broke so many tie breaks in the Senate to give us certain things that the Biden administration was able to implement because she was there to break the tie. We want to make the majority a little higher for Democrats in the Senate. We want
yes.
to take back the House if we
Yes.
can.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I wouldn't, and let me say this, I'm not somebody who thinks Democrats should just run everything, but with the MAGA Republican movement and the type of extremists that you have, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and all those
Yes.
clowns that sit in the actual seat of power, then no, that's not what we want. That's not even
Yeah.
a person you can negotiate with. And you even heard her talk about this. One of the craziest things, they had secured a border deal between some of the most conservative Republicans and the Democrats. They had come to a deal, and Donald Trump called up his
yeah.
supporters and said,
blocked
don't
it.
support it. Yes, block, but don't vote it. Don't do it
Yeah.
because it's going to look bad for me and my election. They
Exactly.
will look like they solved a problem.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Yeah, she
And
said
killed it.
That
And
is
that was out
crazy.
there. They
That's so
been the
petty
thing.
and
So,
dumb.
and then what they're doing now is through fear, running these ads that look like she doesn't care and the Biden administration doesn't care about the border. Absolutely they did. That's why they brokered the deal. And you
dangerous.
killed it.
Dangerous.
Wow.
Dangerous.
That's dangerous.
But then that goes back to, and I said this earlier, Donald Trump is his only client. He
Yeah.
is his, not
That's deep.
America,
That's
not
deep.
the voices of single mothers, not the voices of,
Yeah.
women who, did you remember she mentioned all of these? She said she spoke with women in small towns and who wanted to get abortions or who did.
Oh, no, I heard that one abortion story on the call
Yes.
where the lady almost died. There was
Yes.
a story of
Yes.
a woman
Oh my
and her son,
God.
her husband, fought to have a baby.
Yes.
Doctors would not remove the baby from
Yes.
her.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they're
'Cause
scared
they
they're
don't
going to
wanna
be
be
jailed.
arrested.
She became
Yes.
septic
Yes.
and almost died.
Yes. That
Because
has
they
happened
had
a ton.
Wow.
A ton. That's the
Yeah.
story.
That's
Because especially in states like
Jesus.
Texas, those states that have changed the rules to comply or to be in line with the Supreme Court ruling, they couldn't wait for that to come down because they could change it because it's done state by state. So those states where abortion is legal are kind of the safe states now. That's what you mean by going back. That's how it used to be.
We are
right?
not going
You had
back.
to sneak somewhere
We
to
are
try to
not.
get
That is
the medical
crazy.
care you need, whether it's an abortion or a DNC, all those things you had to sneak. Or
That's
women in the
crazy.
back alleys
Yeah,
trying to
back
get
in the
things.
day,
Yes.
back alley
Yes.
abortions.
Yes.
Oh, wow, there it is.
That's where we're
So
going.
that's
That's
the
where
back.
he's
That's
trying
what
to
you
take
mean.
us.
That's
Yes.
the point. That's the going back. No,
We're not doing
and I think it was Kamala, but don't. Maybe it was Kerry Washington, but one of them said, "I refuse to live in a society where my daughters have less rights than my mother."
Than my mother.
Ooh.
Not
Isn't that
doing
something?
it.
Ooh.
But that's the
Doing
reality.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what
Do
we're up
something.
against.
Do
No,
something.
That is what we're doing, and not just in the form of women's rights. All of our civil rights, our voting rights,
Our voting
everything.
rights. Yes.
We're
Yeah.
not going back.
It's crazy. Well,
We
we see
already-
what's happening
they
in the
struck down
courts.
affirmative action.
Baby.
Hey, come on.
It's crazy. So let me get into this because you're getting married.
Yeah.
You're married.
Yes.
Us
married.
Woo!
And we praying marriage for Chris.
Yes, yes.
My boo.
Relationships, y'all.
Yes.
Let me tell you, if you out there in these streets,
Yes.
there is something that is happening with our brothers and Donald Trump. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Certain things about him appeal, surprisingly, to black men. We love our husbands.
Yes.
We love
Yes.
our fiancés.
Yes.
We
Yes.
love our men.
Yes.
We cannot have our relationships fall apart because of an election.
That's
And they don't
exactly
have
right.
to.
So
They don't have
explain.
to. You
Okay,
can have
talk
two
about it.
points of view. If you are in a healthy romantic relationship, you are an individual and your partner is an individual. Why does it have to be division just in a conversation? I mean, it could, if you have the conversation right, it could lead to a great bedroom conversation. But you know, some
You know
great
what,
things
Stacey,
in the
that
bedroom.
sounds good.
But if you're
Come on, darling.
but if
just about to
it's
say.
but if it's challenged,
Yeah.
and you want to blame it on politics, then the bigger issue is your communication and not having a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Well, and that does sound good, and I agree. I do not disagree.
Hold on, let me
But
finish.
we are in
because my fiance and I, he is a conservative. Okay.